So then, what's the latest thing causing outrage amongst the usual suspects? Would you believe a term used to describe the 15 to 17 age category in sports, otherwise known as the Midget division? You know, I truly believe we live in a day and age in which certain people wake up each morning, saunter over to the outrage well, and fill their buckets with outrage, both real and imagined. Darn it, I exist, therefore I am offended, and today I shall find something, anything, to complain about until I receive a groveling apology, whereupon I'll go back to the outrage well and fill my bucket with something else to complain about. So then, let's turn to the weird world of sport, shall we? Since getting upset about native-themed nicknames and logos is just so, 2016, what sort of other stuff lingers down at the gymnasium that might make Generation Snowflake blow a gasket? Well, it's something known as the Midget division. According to a TSN report, Athletics Canada says it will pursue dropping the term midget as an age category descriptor in such sports as hockey, football, and baseball. This is following the lead of the Ontario Basketball Association, which is already planning to do likewise. Now, TSN notes, quote, "The term midget has been used for decades in a variety of sports, but many consider it to be a derogatory slur," end quote. Many? Really, TSN? I mean, I would say a few squeaky wheels find this term problematic, but these days, if it squeaks, it leads, so terms like midget and minor midget are now headed for extinction. Cause of death, political correctness. But does anyone truly believe that teenagers playing a sport in the midget division are openly mocking dwarfism? That's a stretch, no pun intended. And what, pray tell, is the correct terminology for those born with such an affliction? Apparently, one approved descriptor is little people, but really, is that term that much more dignified than midget? I don't know. But check out this statement from Alan Redford, the director of the Dwarf Athletic Association of Canada and president of the Little People of Ontario. He says midget is a slur that originates from the oppression and exploitation of people with dwarfism in freak shows going all the way back to the mid-1800s. You know, funny you should bring up freak shows because it was an early version of social justice warriorism that killed off the freak show. Just one hitch, however, the do-gooders neglected to consult with the freaks, which is to say those performers who, of their own free will, took part in circus sideshows and made a pretty nice living to boot. But they were liberated by having their place of employment shut down and were then forced to rely on welfare and food stamps to get by. Gee, thanks guys. And today, this unwanted saving continues. Case in point, a few years ago, the Leopard's Lounge strip club in Windsor, Ontario, staged a dwarf tossing competition. Now, it should be noted that the dwarf in question, Mighty Mike, aka Michael Murga, is a professional performer who bills himself as entertainment's #1 little person. It should also be pointed out that Mighty Mike is a willing participant at these events, essentially because Mighty Mike earns a mighty nice paycheck. Here's some promotional footage of Mighty Mike in action. Now granted, dwarf tossing, much like professional wrestling or monster truck competitions, might not be everyone's idea of highbrow entertainment, but there is an appetite for such fare, and it was standing room only at the Leopard's Lounge. Oh, but that didn't stop the wannabe do-gooders from starting petitions with the goal of getting the event canceled. But why? Mighty Mike was a willing participant. The paying customers had a great time, and there were no safety issues to speak of. In case you're wondering about the nuances of dwarf tossing, the dwarf wears protective gear and is tossed onto a comfy mattress, not a hard linoleum floor. And yet, the politically correct killjoys did their utmost to derail that event. The Windsor Star reported that Windsor resident Jeannie Berkeley was among the nearly 3,600 people who signed an online petition hoping to axe the competition. Said Berkeley, quote, "I think it's an outrage. It's a degrading spectacle that exploits the physically different." Really? Did she bother to ask Mighty Mike? And perhaps one person's definition of degradation is another person's idea of gainful employment. But welcome to the new philosophy embraced by the progressives today. If the person they are saving is too dumb to be offended by their circumstances, well then, they'll get offended for them. And so it is that the jihad on the very term midget now festers, and wow, do I ever feel sorry for owners of a certain MG automobile. As for next week, there will undoubtedly be a new crusade against something else that is supposedly offensive. Wait a second, did I just say crusade? I'm so sorry. I'm so very, very sorry. For the Rebel.media, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. It seems that everyone wants to communicate by texting these days. The problem is, people just assume they can text any number and the text will be received. But what if the intended recipient never got that text? This can lead to bad customer relations and lost business. Now you can make any number a textable number. Introducing Unites Text Me. Unites Text Me allows you to receive text messages on your business number, even if it's an old style landline, and you can even respond back to those texts. For more information, visit www.textmeanywhere.com. That's www.textmeanywhere.com, or simply text 866-864-8363.